Hello, welcome to the
Yeah,
University of Lincoln here at Wes. So my name's Marvin,
Marvin.
and I work here at the University of Lincoln. But not only do I work here, they took me back. I don't really know what they were thinking, but I studied here for 3 years and love
Yeah.
every bit of it. Um, but it's not about me today. Today it's about Wes. Screen's inverted, so the man is an electrical nuclear and what is it? An electrical
Electrical
nuclear design
electricity.
engineer.
Yeah,
Swam the English Channel.
it did.
Was on Dancing on Ice
You did that as well. Yeah.
and Love Island, and
Yeah.
now
I just
signing
signed the
up.
record deal. Yeah.
How? Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah. It's been a bit of a wild 2 years for me. It's been ups and downs and all sorts. But I think I've just thrown myself at every opportunity that I've got. Put everything 110% into everything I've done. That's just a mindset I've always carried. And yeah, it's been an exciting 2 years, and now I'm sort of settled on music. So I'm happy to see where that goes.
Now that's amazing. Like, yeah, you're kind of taking all the opportunities forward. It's really something that like has brought you where where you are, and now we've got 18-year-olds going through clearing tomorrow, being
Yeah,
nervous, about what's about to come next. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
what top tips do you have for them guys?
I think just rely on yourself. Like you know what you've done, you know your studies, you know what you want to do. For me, just accept whatever it is. If it's good, it's bad, ugly, whatever it is, just accept it and understand that it's not the end if it's bad, and it's not going to be set for you if it's good. You've got to work through it. You've got to have the confidence. You've got to power through. University's not easy, but it's so much fun. So you just need to understand that it's going to be a journey, and just stick with it. Stick with it.
No, that's absolutely man, and it's true. Like the journey is what it's all about. Now,
For sure.
some of these journeys, people want to end up on TV. So, top tips for ending up on TV. What would
To be fair, top tips for ending up on TV. Well, there's so many different routes into TV. I know a lot of people go for like the sort of runner approach. You might join a firm like ITV or BBC, and you sort of work your way up. Whether it be or it could be through the way that I've done it, which is essentially going on a show, showing your personality, being nice for sure. That's definitely a big one. There's people that can go on TV and be controversial, and you might want to wait your career that way. But I've chose the nice route and just be nice, and just take every opportunity you can
no,
and
it's,
be confident. Confidence radiates happiness. If you're confident and people see that, they're happy. If you're happy on screen, they'll be happy too. So just be confident. Learn about talking to people. Learn about communicating with people. Get some good people skills, and just go for it. There's so many routes into TV. I couldn't go through every single one of them now, but yeah, explore them and be confident.
so everyone knows you're such a likable character. Like, so
Thank
I
you.
mean, you've given us a few kind of looks into it, but what's your secret?
My secret is I'm not a very I don't get worried by a lot. I think anything that's out, I think it's just my engineering mindset. Anything that's out of my control that I can't control, I won't worry about. So anything that I can control, I'll put 110% into making sure I can make it the way that I want it and the way I forecast it. But everything outside of that, it's like for example, swimming the channel. Like you could say, okay, more people have died from swimming the channel than from Mount Everest. That's a terrible thought, but it's the truth. Yes, fair enough. Block that out. Then there's also the fact that you've got to go from A to B. The only way I see it is I've got to swim in a straight line from A to B. That is my mindset. But then there's people on the swim that were like, oh, but what if there's jellyfish? What if what if it's freezing cold? What if there's a piece of wood? What if we go the wrong direction? What if we don't swim fast enough? That's cool. They're all what ifs. I ignore what ifs and I just look straight from A to B. I know my end goal. I know what I need to do to get there, and I just stick at it. Whether that be in that's nice, whether it be this, that, and the other. The mindset applies to everything. Know what you need to do, execute it, be simple, and just go for it. Forget about the what ifs. That's
Yeah.
my key to
And
happiness.
yeah, and you can see that you've applied that through everything. You've even applied that to, like Dancing on Ice, where you really took that by storm, and you've applied it to so much. Um, but one thing we definitely know from research is that students are nervous at the start of their journey,
Sure.
going to university. And this is kind of similar to you, kind of showing up on Love Island. You kind of showing up into this villa, and now all of a sudden you've got to live with these people. How did you cope?
For me, I was nervous, and I think it's natural to be nervous, and everyone should be nervous. It's a big step in your career. It's a big step in your life, and you're stepping into the unknown. You don't know what you're going to expect because you've never been there. You may have heard horror stories, you may have heard amazing stories. It's about experience, and you've really got to throw yourself in the deep end if you want to enjoy university properly. So I jumped in. Obviously, you've got to meet new people. You've got a whole new set of friends that are going to be pretty much friends for life. I've got so many friends from university that you don't even know yet. Jumping into that is nerve-wracking, but then you've got to remember they're in the same position as you. They're doing the exact same thing. They're nervous about meeting you, and should they be? No, I hope not. But no, you know that they're in the same position as you. Everyone's like-minded. Everyone's doing the same thing. And for example, even with like the University of Lincoln, it's the nicest. It was voted the nicest place in the UK. That this is all you need to know. Like, it's the nicest place in the UK. You're jumping into a place where you know the people are going to be nice. You know everyone's like-minded. You might have an argument here, you might have an argument there. That is life. That's all part of the learning curve. It's not just the education that you're learning. You're learning communication. You're learning people skills. Just know that everyone's in the same position as you. Just go for it. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine, regardless of whether you're a chatterbox like me or you're more quiet and chilled. But there's always going to be people for you. There's millions of people on campus.
No, that's completely and honestly true. And yeah, through my experience, you just meet an innumerable amount of people, all the types there are, and it's absolutely brilliant.
There's so many different types of people. There's so many different groups that you probably wouldn't have even thought you would have been a part of. Hey, you
Yeah.
might go to university and find yourself. We don't know. You can do whatever you want to do at university. It's your journey. It's completely bespoke, and your experience is not going to be forecast. You're not going to say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You don't know. And just enjoy that unpredictability, because it is exciting, and you do things and you meet people that you never expected to, and you come out with amazing friends.
Absolutely. And so, in regards to like Love Island, who have you kept in touch with? You know, who's been blowing up your phone the most? Or
Mainly, to be fair, me and Josh are like best. Me, Josh, and Jack are best friends, like genuinely best friends, still now to this day. Josh has actually just moved to Battersea, so I live in Battersea. He's lived in Camden his whole 29 years of his life, and then he's moved south of the river. He's now 5 minutes away, and it's an absolute nightmare for him because that means I can literally Boris bike up to his house and just pick his ear and cause mayhem. But yeah, mainly Josh and Jack. They've literally been lifelong friends, and like walking into the villa, I was stepping into the unknown, like we said, and then walking into university is the exact same thing. Did I expect to come out with a lifelong friend just moving down the road and having barbecues later on, which we are going to do? Absolutely not. But that's the unpredictability, and that's the spontaneity that you need to be prepared for. It's gonna be fun. It's just positive. Think positive.
absolutely. We've got a question I'd like to bring forward. So it's from Sophie Charlton. How
Yeah.
do you feel your education prepared you for work?
Oh, it 100% prepared me for work. And it's not just, so this is where people can get it messed up. People think, oh, why would I need to use X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah for my job? You might not need to use that exact formula that you learned in question 5 of your exam. You might not need to use that. No one's saying that. What you need to learn is the process of learning, researching, and then being able to apply. So yes, there's every single job is job specific. And I jumped into nuclear system design engineering, and I didn't use my RE GCSE, or I didn't use this, that, and the other, but it's the process of being able to read something, understand it, take what you can divulge from that, and then apply it. And it's that process of learning. That's why you have different subjects, is to be able to understand different ways of learning and different processes of learning. You don't
Yeah.
do an algebra formula for PE. You don't need to do that. But it's different processes of learning, and it prepares you for what you need to apply in a workspace. So I think my whole ideology of it is just preparing yourself for work, being able to understand research and your capability to learn and apply something in a job.
No, that is amazing. I do completely agree with you. It's, it's all about, putting your head towards it and figuring out, how am I going to make this work for me?
Yeah.
And then make it really everything that you want it to be. And to be honest, it's, like you said, it's all about friendship as well. Sometimes, like you made friends and it all kind of, you didn't know that was going to happen and it's brought you where it brought you. Now, my question is, you know, when it comes to Lincoln, what would be your top tips for people coming to Lincoln? Things to see
Bruh.
and
So
do.
I've been to Lincoln about 3 or 4 times, and so I've done a couple of club appearances, and I've played football against Lincoln from when I was there early days before I did my ACL. And I could have turned pro. Joking, I could not turn pro. But I've been Lincoln a few times, and it's been amazing. The place literally it's got so much Roman architecture, so much Roman heritage. It is an incredible city. 1 in 5 people is a student. Just picture that. You're in a whole city full of students. Tell me that's not fun. And then, as well as that, I've done PA, so I've been on the nightlife side of things. And for me, it was like a dark horse. So
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I've got a club appearance in Lincoln. This is it's sort of an unsung hero. Lincoln is so unsung. I went to Lincoln. I had my first PA there. This was actually just after I'd left the villa, and it blew my head off. I had no idea that this place was absolutely meant. It is meant, and this is not me just guessing. This place is meant to. And I've done 4 or 5 there now, and every single time they ask me to go back, I'm like, absolutely. I don't care what the fee is. I'm going back to Lincoln, and that's not a joke. It is funny. It's just funny, and
What
obviously,
about university?
1 in 5 people is a student, so you know that the nightlife can be lit, and
Yeah.
it's not super expensive, so you don't have to worry about pocket watching. The campus is in the center of Lincoln, the dead center. You don't have to get public transport. You can literally walk. It's like a 5-minute walk to the
Yeah.
clubs, to
Absolutely.
everywhere you need to go to.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It is perfect. And that's why you can always rely on Lincoln, one, being a good nightlife. Obviously, like-minded people. Everyone's your age. It's a worldie. It's a worldie.
Yeah. No. Lincoln, we've like now become one of the top 20 universities in the UK, and like you
Yeah.
said, like one of the friendliest cities, according to Big Lunch, and yeah, it's done amazing things. Um, so we've got a question from Jamie Fraser. I think
Yep.
we kind of mentioned this a bit, but just kind of bringing it forward again. Are you working on any new or exciting projects at the moment?
I am. So 3 days ago, I signed my record deal with Universal Records, which is one of the 3 major labels in the world. Super gassed, obviously. It's like something I've been working on over lockdown. So even before lockdown, it's been about a year now of me just working on music. So I did, over lockdown especially, I did 15 to 20 hours a day in my studio, which I currently am in right now. Like, you can literally see my mic, everything is still set up here now. I've not stopped, and I don't really stop. But it like I do with everything else, everything I put my mind to, I have to completely smash. At one point, I didn't leave my house for Josh's house. I was living with him at the time, for 3 weeks. I didn't leave the front door in lockdown. Is that healthy? Probably not. But have I just signed a major label deal? Yes. Is Drake on my label? Yes. Give me a couple of years, I'm going to be working with Dre. Let's go.
No, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, I'm taking in questions from anyone that wants to chuck any questions in. Just kind of having a look.
Nicola Rushby, that's a good one. Do you have any advice for students who are moving away from home?
Yeah,
I,
go
I personally didn't move away from home, but a lot of my friends did, and I went to visit them all the time. One thing that I would advise is, there's a lot of people that get worried about it because they're away from home. You haven't got mom and dad cooking this, that, and the other. You've got to get your beans on toast, but you become a beans on toast expert. Like all my friends, they can make they could put it in a gourmet 5-star Michelin star restaurant. They could make a beans on toast and it'll blow your socks off. Advice for students moving away from home, though, really is just be confident. There's so many people that move from home in university, and again, they're all in the same position as you. They're all looking for a new friendship group. Everyone's looking to just fit in and be safe and sound. And what you need to know is that when you're in your obviously in your dorms and everything like that, there's going to be all these people that you're with are going to be in the same position. Everyone wants to make everyone comfortable. It's you've just got to sort of breathe, take a moment to yourself. You're an adult. You know you're an adult, and you're absolutely capable. You might not think you are of being able to live on your own. You, of course, you can, and especially in a place like Lincoln, it's super. Everywhere's so close. There's all one campus. You don't have to move around. It's very easy to actually get by. Obviously there's going to be you miss your parents, you miss your people at home, but you essentially make your new family. Everyone that I know from university, everyone's got their own little family and their own little squad, and they've pretty much stuck together from the start to the end to their final year. And that for me just tells me that the bonds that you form when you're living with these people is super strong. So just look forward to having a new little circle and family, if that makes sense, a family away from family. But as well as that, it's just exciting. It's a new adventure. Have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Yeah, especially now with the whole situation. The university is aware of how nervous students are, but that's why we've got we're literally bringing in teepees where people can go and there'll be open fires and we're trying to we want to bring this outside culture back. Obviously within guidelines, strictest of, but we want to be able to these students have their bubbles, like you said, and create their bubbles and face have that face to face that they would have because
Yeah,
that's what people are nervous about coming in.
of course, and it's obviously nerve wracking. Like imagine walking into a villa and then being judged straight away how you look. I had a horrible interest in beer, man. It was nasty. It was nasty. What's gonna happen to you in university? You're like, yo, what's up? You're my new housemate. Let's go. It's
Yeah.
and obviously it's not just about the education. Don't shoot me down. It's not just about the education. You're making lifelong friends. You're gonna go out. You're gonna have an absolute worldy time. Just look forward to it. Trust me. Especially away from home, your parents can't see it. It's gonna
um,
be good fun. It's gonna be good fun.
but bringing it back. Um, so when it came to what's it when we were talking about university experience and there's so much here for them to do and there's so much that they can enjoy. So tell us a bit about because you're an electrical an electrical nuclear design engineer. How's that? What's that done for you? Yeah.
For me, it's opened a lot of doors, and it's not necessarily. Obviously, I got my job. There was thousands of people that applied for the job, and it was sort of for me. I applied for it sort of willingly. I was just like, oh yeah, of course, I'm going to apply for it and just see what happens. And then I actually got my foot in the door, and then that was it. It was go time. Then I just went for it, jumped on it, and for me, it taught me a lot about working with older people. I think I was the youngest person by 12 years in my job. So I was super, super young compared to everyone else. But that, for me, pushed me on it pushed me on leaps and bounds in terms of maturity. As well as that, applying obviously my knowledge that I'd gained from studies into an actual real life, real world job with a lot of responsibility. Nuclear's, it's not as easy as sitting donuts and twiddling your fingers with Homer Simpson in the control room. It's actually very difficult. You have a lot of responsibility and you take that into every walk of life. Obviously, I learned a lot from it: communication, applied engineering, and I apply that to everything that I do now. It's always about understanding something, not just knowing something. So with it, especially that's the main thing that my tutor, my boss said was you need to understand things is not know things. So you can know that 2 + 2 is 4. That's great. But when I say what's 3 + 2 and you don't know because you don't understand addition, then you're screwed. Like you're screwed. It's about understanding things, and it's taught me how to understand things and really, really take responsibility for your learning and applying that learning.
And there's a question here by George Wire. Um, so now this is one of those things. So how do you keep on top of so many different projects at once. I wish someone had given me this advice because I really, yeah, it could have really saved lives. Now, what's your take?
Um, for me, so my dad is an absolute organization guru, and I wasn't for a while. Like through school, I was terrible. I was terrible at it. But then I just really knuckled down on time management. So I'd literally sit there. This is how I work my weeks now. So I sit there at the day before the start of the week. I look at my whole week, and I literally go through every single day and time plan every single day, and then pretty much I obviously basically I have a key of different things. Say I have 5 different things that I want to do this week.
Yeah,
I figure out how long all of them are going to take and which one takes priority, and then I allocate time throughout the week evenly between them, and then I just stick to it. It's actually it's just discipline. It's just sticking to your plan and
yeah,
trusting in your process. Obviously, if something takes a little longer than you anticipated, that's fine. Do the extra hours. You don't just sacrifice the hours. You've got 24 hours in the day. It's how you use it. But
definitely,
I stick
definitely.
to, I obviously juggle a lot of things. I'm doing music. I've just come from filming this morning with TV, and then I'm doing this now. There's a lot of things that I have to juggle. But I just allocate my time, understand what workload needs to go into them, and then just execute and put everything into it, not procrastinate. Because a lot of the time you can say, oh, if I've got a week to do this whole job, it only takes a day, but you'll still leave it till Saturday and Sunday morning to start doing that job. Don't
Yeah.
procrastinate. I can't stress to you, I was the procrastination king. Don't procrastinate. Stay to your plan. Allocate your time and execute with 100% effort, and you'll be able to juggle everything.
No, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. I am very aware plans do change, but like sticking to them is honestly just the way to achieve whatever. Like when you make a plan and you stick to it, and it
Do
really
what you
does
say
make a
you're
difference.
going to do. Like I action things into existence. I don't speak things into existence. That's always what I work on. You know,
No, it's an amazing way of thinking because procrastinating is so easy to do.
crazy.
Oh God. And yeah, yeah, no, that's amazing. And honestly, I wish that yeah, early on as well that I'd had my head like screwed on and
But you're
made
in a
that
great
kind of
position, so don't ever regret. You're in a beautiful
yeah,
position.
absolutely. Now, going forward, I was gonna ask um what do you reckon the best day? I'm gonna kind of bring it back to kind of um the villa. Let's kind of bring it back to the villa. The best day in the villa for you.
The best day in the villa. Wow. I think. Oh, that's a goodie. I think it was actually watching because Josh is hopeless dancing. So they did a strip dance. Watching Josh try and strip dance was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. They played Magic Mike, and watching him bounce around, failed to rip his trousers off, failed to failed to raise anyone's heart rate, and then stumble off was probably the highlight. And I've never let him live it down. In fact, I brought it up this morning when we we're filming. Yeah, that was definitely the best day, just watching him crash and burn. I hope to see. I
That is
hope to see.
absolutely beautiful. Okay. I think I want to say I know we're ending it a bit earlier, but questions wise, unless any more
Yes.
questions to come
Guys, send
through,
your questions through, anything university related, anything Lincoln related, ping them through, and I'll see what I can do.
have a quick look.
Pew, pew, pew. Let's have a look.
Mm, Um, well, okay.
What is the main ways you stayed? Oh, what are the main ways you stayed motivated yourself through university? That's
Mm,
from Josh.
yeah, let's
For
go.
me, it's obviously there's the end goal. You want to get the result. You want to be able to have that piece of paper that says two on first, this, that, and the other. You want to have that. But the way I motivate myself in everything is always splitting it into chunks. So imagine when you go for a run and you see the lampposts, and you're like, oh, I'll just make it to that lamppost. I'll make it to that lamppost, and I'll make it to that lamppost, and I'll make it to that lamppost. And then you split it into chunks. It makes it so much more manageable than just saying I'm going to run to that end lamppost. And so what I do is I just split my targets and my goals, whether it be tests, whether it be end of terms, all them sort of little mini tests, or I set my own tests of where I want to be, and just hit them mini targets. As soon as you hit the mini targets, one, it feels great. You hit the target and you're like, I've worked for this, and it's super fulfilling when you work for something and then you actually hit it, because obviously you can't hit that end goal of that piece of paper in your hand until you've hit it. So then it becomes very difficult to motivate yourself, because you're not hitting anything, you're not achieving anything throughout the year. You've got to hit every single little bit on the way up, every single level, and just set yourself mini intrinsic targets, and you'll start to feel good, because you're like, bang, smash this one, bang, smash that one, bang, smash that one. And then by the time you get to the end, you smashed all these things and you didn't even know it. It becomes very, very good and very fulfilling by setting mini goals, and just taking it in bite-sized pieces as opposed to one big chunk.
Yeah. No, and I completely understand and agree that. And I mean, that's a brilliant way of viewing it, because it is often what kind of makes you procrastinate. Is you see that big list of things that you've got to do, and you just don't know where to.
Chunk it up, and you'll hit mini targets. Why would you want to get one big buzz when you can get 10? Give yourself 10 buzzes. Do it do it every couple of weeks. Just like, bang, hit that, boom, let's go. Give yourself targets.
Well, I'm going through and asking, what about let's say celebrity or things you'd still love to achieve, dreams that you'd still have, things
I want to win
on
Brits.
your bucket list. Sorry.
I want to win the Brits Newcomer Award. I'm going to win the Brits Newcomer Award.
That's it.
Everything that I do, I speak into existence, and it's never ever failed me. Like I said, I'd get my nuclear systems design engineering job, did it. I said I'd get 15 A stars, 14 A stars at GCSE, I did it. Said I'd get all the A levels that I got, I did it. I have to. But when people say, "Oh, I believe it into existence," when you see people like these big gurus and these mentors saying, "Oh, if you can believe, you can achieve." Cool, but then these guys aren't joking. Like, this isn't a joke. When they say actually genuinely believe, and a lot of people can say, oh yeah, I believe it. That's just speaking. You really, 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 really have to believe it. And I genuinely believe everything that I set my mind to, I will achieve. I couldn't swim 2 lengths of a pool, and then 3 months later, I swam 26 miles in the channel. I couldn't skate to save my life. I did two drunken Christmas trips to a tiny little rink in Stoke, and then started doing pike jumps and star jumps and everything. And 2 months later. Everything you set your mind to, you can 100% achieve. But it sounds so cliche. It's like the most cliche saying, believe and achieve, but really, 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 really believe it. Like, in yourself, not just say it. You don't have to tell anyone. Actually believe it in yourself. And then you will 100% do it. Like kickboxing, I was 23-0 in kickboxing. Football, I made it professional for Stoke. Everything that I set my mind to, my little noggin, well, actually big noggin, I've got 5 head, but everything I set my noggin to, I have to achieve it. You have to, and you will, 100%. And if you don't, do it again, and until you do.
Okay, I completely agree with you. And to be honest, like, wow, it's an amazing thing to do. And there was a question here by Chris Hainstock.
Okay.
How do you think TV and music production will be affected due to COVID situation? Especially think about career prospects.
So I've been asked to do some festivals like with music, and Glastonbury's now not going to be until 2022. That is berserk. Like, that is a long old time. Especially with TV as well. Like today I was filming, everyone's got a mask, everyone's 2 meters apart. It makes things difficult, and it's very difficult when you've not got a crowd. Obviously, it's an entertainment industry, and part of the buzz of being an entertainer is having the crowd's response to things. So I did a couple of shows last week. I won't say them on here, but they were there was no crowd in the audience, and you're trying to make people laugh that aren't even there. It's so odd, but it's gonna be weird, and it's the same with football and all those things like that. There's no crowd response, so for me, that's the only real big difference. But as consumer base, you can still watch your television, you can still see the show, you can still laugh at home. But with music, all live shows are pretty much cancelled, and it's annoying because I'm about to release a song that I can't even perform now. But yeah, I'm sure streams will make up for it. But we'll move. We move.
We'll find different ways of doing it. We always have. We've adapted, and that's the thing that I think every industry is doing right now. It's adapting,
Yeah.
and the things that are going to come out are going to blow our minds in a few minutes. And the people we can reach now as well is incredible,
Yeah, for
absolutely
sure.
incredible. Now, I've got one last question to ask you, and then I think we'll be calling it. And this is purely for me, most likely, but for all of us here. When it comes to Netflix, what are you watching at the moment?
Oh, you know what I did? I feel so bad for it. I watched Stranger Things back to back, that like two seasons in a row. It was so good. In fact, I don't regret it. It was so good. I watched it. I watched the first season like a while ago, and then after I'd signed my record deal, I had a pretty hefty celebration with the label, and I was sofa bound. So I just sat on the sofa and watched back to back seasons of Stranger Things, and it was really good. Oh, but one that's really interesting, Epstein. Watch it. Controversial,
Ooh, controversial.
controversial stuff. You need to watch
Controversial. I'm gonna leave it there and thank you so much
it.
for help
Thank
today and we're bringing you back.
you. Okay.
And we want to thank all the viewers, and if anyone has any more questions, or we're going through clearing, and going through adjustment, whatever,
Yeah.
you
What did
can
I like
call.
most about Lincoln? So for me, I loved. Hmm, it's different because I mean obviously I'm in London now,
Okay,
so
okay.
London is completely manic. It's 1 million miles an hour, 100% of the time. Forgive me for offending anyone from London. The people are generally pretty not rude. I'm not going to say rude, but
Come on, watch where you go with that. Watch where you go with that.
very
They're
fast
they're
paced.
very
People are very
direct,
fast
direct.
paced and not as friendly as they are in Lincoln. Obviously, they've got that. Um, so for me, going to Lincoln, it's just like a breath of fresh air. You're coming out of this pressure cooker, wherever the city or the town that you may come from. You're stepping into a very positive, really genuinely friendly place. Obviously, when you look around in London, you see a lot of sky rises, buildings, this, that, and the
Yeah,
other, and
it's
it's
beautiful,
manic. When
beautiful.
you look around in Lincoln, you're seeing Hogwarts. This place literally looks like Hogwarts. You're walking around everywhere. It is a beautiful
Got the
city.
cathedral there
Basically,
that just
that's
stands
what.
out for miles.
Yeah, literally the cathedral. Everywhere, every time I used to play football there, literally on the drive up in the bus, we were like, "Oh my god, this place! Oh my god, this place! Oh my god, this place!" Literally, it's a beautiful city, and if you've not been or you're not considered it, definitely think about it, because especially when you're in university, you want to be in a place that you're comfortable. You've got space to breathe. You've got places to go on little adventures, this, that, and the other, and do some excursions. There's loads to do in Lincoln. Obviously, the nightlife's incredible. At the same time as that,
Yeah.
think about it, because seriously, it's such a beautiful city and it's so unsung. Check it out. Go on a little adventure there. See it for yourself, because I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir here with Marv, but you know, you know
I've been
yourself.
here, done that. I've enjoyed it, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Oh,
You're
well,
gonna have to work
it's
to
not
get
a
rid of
bad
me.
place to be stuck. I'd rather be there than the big smoke. Jesus.
Oh, it's definitely a lot more intense down there. But yeah, if you want everything, here, and also, the one thing I like as well is there's a coast like an hour away, which is
Yeah.
brilliant, which you can just kind of go and enjoy yourself.
Wow.
And
Especially on days like today. It is
preach.
roasting. I'm having to readjust my t-shirt. I don't know if
I have to make sure that I'm wearing something that
yeah, yeah,
wasn't going to show this. But
yeah.
yeah,
But it's honestly, check it out. You need to see it for yourself. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know, get to know. If you don't know, get to know. That's all I can say.
No, loving it, absolutely loving it, and couldn't agree more. Couldn't absolutely agree more. And again, wanted to thank everyone. And if
And thanks,
people
guys, for
going for
the comments
clearing
as
as
well.
well, the number is 0808 164 44s. And yeah, come to the website, come talk to us, come visit. You know,
I'm
it
actually
is
going
what
to
it
Lincoln
is.
soon on a PA, so if you want to come, then come.
It is what it is. Whoop,
It's a
whoop.
wild old place. I'm
But
going
yeah,
off the last times. It's a wild old place.
but it's an amazing place to study too.
Incredible. Top
And
20,
with
boy.
that,
Top 20. Top 20 university. There's not many of them.
20,
There
top
we go.
20. Okay, thank you guys all, and have an amazing day. Grab you something cool and cold.
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
Love my guys. Thank
thank
you for
you.
having me on. Love.
No worries. Thank you again.
See you guys.